Hey everybody, it's Fat Man from the Holler, and I'm just sitting down here riding down the old gravel road. Looks like the county threw some gravel out here, made it rougher than a corn cob. But as you can see around, look at the clouds and such on a beautiful day. Love the smell of cedar, the grass and the sprouts and everything, and the leaves kicking over in the ditches. And I'm thinking if this weather stays the way it's going, I think we might have a good mushroom season this year for all the mushroom hunters. I'm pretty sure the fish are biting because it's the weirdest thing. It's like a Indian thing in my DNA. I can smell it in the air. It's like if you smell fish, it's like all the water pushes the fish up out their holes, and then all the stuff from the fish being in their little hole pockets for hibernating kicks them loose, and there's birds moving and turkey and stuff I see and everything turning green. I've been kind of excited for spring. Incubated 6 baby chickens and thinking about mushroom hunting, maybe going to some creeks, doing a little arrowhead hunting, collecting some driftwood. And a lot of these videos you see, I go in the same place all the time, but where I go is places where are long forgotten. Like over there, as you go by here, you can see where old farmhouses was. They're no longer there. You can see the silos and the implements and their old trucks and stuff out there time to time, and old walnut trees. But I certainly love nature. I always want to be a conservationist. Everything in the world toxic kind of prevented that from happening. But the greatest thing of conservation is we're not out to be the controller. Even the cattle out there, you know a storm ain't gonna last long. When you look at the cattle are standing up. If it's a bad storm coming, all cattle will be laying down, hunkered in. Check that out. There we go. That's good range out there. If I can see, a little hard to see driving. But if you look out there, it's a little hard to see. I got that blind eye for it. There's 2 turkey right there close to me, and if you look further out in that field, there's 1, 2, 3. There's a handful of turkey in that field that I just showed you guys. I drove by that said I always figure out if it's turkey hunting season by driving this road. And then you look down that tree draw. I'm gonna drive a little further down, but you can see the turkey right there. If you look across that field, they can hear my truck, the vibration of my truck, and they're moving along that oak, where that big white oak tree is out there. You'll be able to vaguely see them. So I'm using a cell phone, so it ain't magnifying it very well. I can't hardly see. But that tree line right there, there's probably, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What I'm seeing here is the turkey are all displaced because of the rain. Turkeys ain't a real fan of rain, but it's about that springtime and they're thinking about breeding and nesting up. I'll try to get a little better picture. It's a little hard to see them. I might be able to go further down. You might be able to see them, but here's where the tree line is. And if you look back there, well, you can't see them under that hill right there. Turkey are smart. Turkey are smart, and you can make the slightest noise. You can see them right there. You see a hay bale out there for the cattle, and you can see the turkey running. And the turkey can see me and hear my truck, and they can hear me talking. And we're probably about the size of a football field apart, but you can see them coming out. What I did is I just ran them up out that little area right there, that little thicket of trees, and they're out there hitting that field. And they're out there moving. Oh, look there. On the other side, there's deer. There's 3 deer, 3, 4, 5, 6, running off top of that draw up there. Down here is about one of the few spots in Millersburg that's left Millersburg where it's actually farmland. And then we see all them cedars. Some of that spot is privately owned, besides them putting little trailer parks in and subdivisions and stuff of that nature. But you always know what time the weather is by watching the animals and how the animals are moving. That's why I come down here. I think it's going to be a good year for mushroom hunting and stuff. Seeing all the turkey and deer moving, I know what I did is I guess should have came out a little bit later as looking, because I seen the first little patch of deer over here off County Road, whatever you call it. County Road 228 is by Little Dixie Lake, where all the people that have boats want to go, because I guess it's about the only lake that's still able to be fished that places like Mizzou cannot buy and sell. But maybe Conservation Lake gets sold off one day, probably turns into one of them like East Coast yuppie farms, where like they have out in like states like Maine, where it's like a private area where the only people that can fish there, the people that live there, and they got to pay taxes for maintaining the lake and all that jazz. And that's fine. I don't judge. I don't care. I have all the money in the world. I still love nature the way nature is, without the houses and the people and the cars and all the trash running down into the creeks. But I love nature more than I love humanity, because humanity controls nature, and it shouldn't be that way. But you can see we ain't had a rain in a long time. We're getting a lot of water. They're talking about tornado for central Missouri, Boone County, Cowley County, stuff of that nature. Pettis County, Monroe, Montauk, Marys. It's always the same thing. It's just a possibility. I mean, if you look at the sky, it's a possibility, because we're getting in there where the nights are still cool enough and the day's warm enough, it could, in a good little rainfall that knocks that pressure down, it could create a tornado. I wouldn't rule it out, but I spend for most of my life, I spent out in the woods. Everybody else is going to college and having families and stuff of that nature. And even when, I mean, I worked jobs and stuff to make money, but I never left my roots. Old truck always wants to run a little funky when the starter or distributor cap gets wet a little bit. Truck doggy, and these people don't even understand. Look, on a gravel road like this is the kind of people that don't belong out here. They're mad because I'm going slow, so they pass me. Them kind of people, when I was growing up, it was not here. And they keep crying about how the world's bad and all the bad stuff happens, the mass shootings, the crime, the drugs, the car wrecks. There's a prime example of it right there. That's a prime example of it. People don't have respect. When people don't have respect, bad stuff happens. And I'm not saying it's good that stuff happens, but in the same category, some of us from a different generation, we don't like that type stuff. We like to go down a gravel road, mind our own business, have a good time. If I want to make a video and talk about nature and check out the rain and all the fresh growth of the grass and the trees sprouting out green, seeing the deer and the turkey, I should be able to do that without interference of other humans. They're in such a hurry to go to the gas station or a local Dollar General or Walmart that they have to pass me. And it don't matter. I just find it pretty trashy, tacky, and petty. I'm not going to speed down these gravel roads, because I've lived out here my whole life, and I treat my community with respect. Old Lions Club, still going to have a turkey shoot March 24th. And I've seen all the yuppies go on Facebook and start the little Millersburg community. The person that started is one of the people that always treated me very, very snotty during COVID. And when I made some of the bad, or when I made some of the music with cuss words and a little rough around the edges, it's about these people that I'm tolerating. I'm tolerating them, which means I'm like the trees and the land and the dirt and the soil and the water and the rain. I'm tolerating them. Doesn't mean I like them. I tolerate them. And tolerating something only lasts so far. And I wouldn't mind moving away, but if I move somewhere, I don't want to be around these cars. I don't want to be around these people. I want to be in a community where I can hop on a wagon, haul hay with the wagon, hop on a horse and ride to a store and go buy me a can of chew or a bottle of beer, and not have to deal with all these people. Because I don't understand. It's like the dumbest people on the earth. They want to live on top of each other, and then they wonder why the world's bad. I don't want to be around none of them. I'm just forcibly stuck with having them on top of me. That's all right. You can sit here and watch this. You'll never be able to, you can't even make a turn out here, because these people are coming from everywhere. And they're in a hurry to get everywhere because they're coming home from work. I don't understand why they don't take I-70. Nature don't want them here. Wonder why they keep running into deer and such. Because they don't need to be here. These back roads aren't made for speed. They just ain't made for speed. A lot of these folks want to drive 50, 60, 70. There's a highway. Take a highway. Why don't you give some of the people live in the rural areas a break from it? Nobody lives out here and wants you up their butt, riding on their bumper, trying to push them down the road. And I tell them right to their face, because I'm not an internet warrior hiding behind a keyboard, a troll, or a steering warrior badass, or on a cell phone acting obnoxious. Because when I don't get my way, I'm going to call cops. That's what they do around here. Because they just want to push you they can't push you no more. Indians didn't have to deal with this, and that's lucky. Because what they done to the land is disgraceful to the nation. They don't believe in agriculture. Look at this. And here's another example. Instead of having trees or buckbrush or anything for the animals, let's clean it up. Let's make it look pretty like St. Louis. If you want to live in the metro area, please move there. Go away. Nobody wants you here. Not by no means. I certainly don't. I like the way everything used to be before the yuppies came. Like looking at the old creek beds and everything else. You can't even look at nature. You can't even enjoy nature with these scumbags coming through here. You know, if you want to take the highway, take the highway, lay the trash down there. Stop throwing your beer bottles and your soda bottles and your coffee mugs in my community. I don't appreciate it. And if I was a conservationist or a cop, everybody doing it would get a ticket. Because they don't have no class. We don't live there, let's just throw trash around. I do have qualms with humanity because they have no respect. I have respect. I'll go down the road and I'm filming what I want to film. I'm enjoying the nature and where I grew up at and looking at the rainy day. And I could really care less about being pestered by people that are all about nothing, that have a no value system. And see, when you go south of Millersburg, outside of Millersburg, between Millersburg and New Bloomfield, Guthrie, you get a lot of harder rain, because down here in the south, you can see it gets pretty dark. It gets pretty dark pretty quick. Because like hub of Millersburg, usually we get the gust of it. We'll get a fast storm. Sometimes we might have a 12-hour storm, what have you. But it just depends on what nature wants to do that day. And when I say yuppies, there's a sign right there selling wine. They think this is like, they just don't understand what agriculture and conservation is. Conservation is leaving stuff for nature. Like when I cut trees, I take the brush, I put brush in piles for the wild birds. They can make nests out of it. The rabbits can go in it. And you can see it. We're having a little bit of thunderstorm. This has a thunderstorm. It's more like just a hard rain, what I consider it. But I mean, you can look. It does have the way of giving way to a tornado per se. I'm not going to say it's impervious and impossible for it to happen, but as you can see everywhere I'm looking, just a hard rainstorm. Here comes a school bus. Better not drive off the road or I'll probably get stuck, because this guy obviously don't want to know how to drive a bus very well. You're in a heavy enough bus, all you gotta do is don't slow down, just keep rolling, dummy. It's okay. It's starting to come down pretty good. I have a feeling out here at the hollers and creeks we're going to get a little bit of flash flooding, since we've been having all this drought for the last few years. But usually every spring we have a good flash flood. Everything turns green, things of that nature. And then usually summertime, between all the beginning to mid-June to about late August, mid-September. We don't get a whole lot of rain, but this rain ain't a bad thing, because some people can't grow food, and there's people like me that run a tractor, take care of cattle, hogs, pigs, and livestock. We're the kind of people that are self-sufficient. We can take care of ourselves and feed the world. But guess what? We can feed the world, but can you stop building subdivisions on top of it so we can do that? Or like we're riding down the road on a tractor, can you give us some space so we can do our job? Because if you're in a hurry and you're taking a rural road because you think it's easier to commute, oh, there we go, there's the hail. Uh-oh. Well, the windshield's already broke, so they ain't gonna beat me too much on that one, I don't guess. Hail's coming down. It's about the size of peas. But see, I like to show people on YouTube another side of Missouri that you don't ever see. This ain't Mizzou. This ain't Metro, Kansas City, St. Louis. This is backwoods Missouri. The most beautiful part of Missouri is the hunting, the fishing, the arrowhead hunting, mushroom hunting, foraging of wild things you can eat, collecting driftwood, hunting for deer sheds, because when male bucks have they lose their antlers, they grow new antlers. Look at those creeks down there. Creeks and little ditches, they're flooding pretty hard. Even the county road's got a lot of water, because right there you can see where the water's cutting in on it. We're getting a little bit of hail. Old truck ain't liking having all the electrical components under the hood getting wet, but got some good old size pea hail coming down. This is one of my favorite roads to go down, because it's one of the roads I rode all the time for many years of my life, riding on the school bus. And the crazy thing, it's the only part of the area that's still kind of the area I grew up in. My truck ain't liking all the rain on the distributor and the starter and everything. It's like chugging and chugging and chugging. And then you get these yuppies in a hurry going from Columbia to Fulton or Fulton to Columbia. They got to ride on you fast as they can go. So I take back roads. So I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to fight with them. I don't want to hit them in their mouth, even though I'd like to. Just because I'd like to. Just because I can don't mean I should. There is rules in life, and they apply to me just as much as they apply to other human beings. Sometimes I think we all forget that. Because you can see everything's just turning green as can be. And then what happens is all this rain knocks a lot of them blooms off the trees and stuff so they can bloom out. Gets the grass going, gets the worms moving. And then for those who don't know, the March full moon is called the worm moon. And that makes sense because you know what happens in March, everything starts turning green. Because you can see the turkey and everything, and raising poultry and turkey at farms, I know how they move. They're out there hunting for last year's bugs and everything. There's a lot of stuff, even though it stays dormant for a while, everything is a cycle in this world of nature, humanity, and farming. And just a lot of this place where I'm at, there's a lot of stuff built down in here, a lot of stuff changing. I don't mind that a whole lot. I just don't like the disrespect of the trash and the tailgate riding. And then the people are so used to being toxic, and nobody, it's like they know what's wrong and right, but they do it anyway. I guess I come from a different era. If I know I'm doing wrong, I damn sure not gonna keep doing it. See why we gotta have rain right there. Old pond's gotta get water for the frogs and fish. Here you can see everywhere there's houses, and it just keeps, a lot of these houses have been down here for years. But back in the old days, I think there's only about one house on this whole road, was Lonnie Taylor on the right, and then up here around the corner was Buddy Guy. There's, down this road I'm on, is back in the old days, I believe there's only about maybe 5 or 10 houses on the whole entire road, which is county road. It's like 346. But old truck's just a sputter and a dog, and so I ain't gonna push it. We're just gonna sit here and enjoy the hard rainstorm with the hail and find it kind of amusing as sorts. There's all kind of farmland. The only part of Millersburg that stay in Millersburg is the people that have access to a lot of access to acreage because they don't need money. So they ain't selling it off into trailer courts and subdivisions and malarkey and tomfoolery of that nature. But all the hell's getting bigger. You can see that hell up there on the windshield. About the size of pea. It's getting a little bigger. Some of this hell coming down about the size of peas to the size of a nickel. I don't mind. I don't mind. The truck wants to chug. As long as it keeps rolling, I ain't crying too hard. Here we are down in the woods. Well, used to be the woods, but some parts of the area is still woods. And I do get a little uptight about all the trailer parks and subdivisions and stuff of that nature because it brings trash, not only the stuff they throw and the pollution on the ground. A lot of criminal drug dealers and pedophiles where your kids can't just walk down these roads no more like we did when we was kids. I do believe in old American values, and I'm sorry if it offends anybody, and I don't care what anybody is. Just don't mess with innocent people, women, children, or handicapped, or the elderly, or just fine, and don't be stealing stuff out of people's yards. Because, you know, I ride these gravel roads, I see somebody doing it, 100%, probably not going to call the law. I got a good piece of hickory axe handle behind the seat, and I might just put that across her head and pull out my zip ties and zip tie them. Because I do like peace. Storm's letting up. We're just flash storming. Every time there's a storm like this, yuppies go in their basements, have basement parties. They act like they're down in Florida or something off in a hurricane. It's the same thing when there's snow. When it snows, they think they're in Alaska because it snows 2 inches. They can't drive on dry pavement, much less a snow-covered pavement. Oh, truck's chugging pretty hard. Don't like getting wet. It's like old Billy Goat. It's like, quit getting me wet. I don't want to run. But you see animals run when it rains, especially off a cool wind, because they're trying to outrun the storm. But you can't outrun the storm. It's like a cop CB, cop scanner. You ain't outrunning it. But here we go. Let's see how many yuppies I can piss off because my truck ain't running very good because it got wet. And a lot of these people don't have no class. They'll get on my bumper and try to persist to just aggravate and bring me down. See right there? That's right there. Right on my bumper. Hard as you can get. Hard as it can get. Right there on my bumper. See that? What's the point of that on my bumper? You're recorded? Hell yes, you're recorded. Because my truck's running shitty. Guess what? I can't control that. But you can control riding on somebody's bumper, Miss SUV. Trash. Why don't you take your ass out of here? If you're in a hurry, take the highway. Or I'm gonna write you a ticket for fucking following too closely. Morons. It's like they take a driving test and they forget the rules. There's wonder why there's violence in this world, because there's ignorant people that don't understand. When you act disrespectful, somebody like me will lay an open hand right across your jaw and smack the taste right out of your mouth for being disrespectful. And I don't like being violent and toxic, but I don't like disrespect in any shape, form, or way. Because I'm a different breed. Not from this yuppie breed, this crybaby breed, this self-absorbed punks that think the world revolves around them. I shouldn't say that on YouTube, but some of you people out there, you need to wake up to the world is not all about you and the world don't revolve around me. Because I want to take nature pictures, maybe these idiots want to go home from work, but that is all.